Hey, I'm Todd. Thanks for choosing to watch my video, and if you would subscribe it, like it, all that stuff, that'd be great. Otherwise, enjoy the video, and I hope it gives you the information you need and is helpful to you. Take care. So I do get a lot of comments with people saying I have saved them a lot of money, and I do get questions, hey, can I send you some money somehow? And now there is a way, if you so choose, called fan funding. You'll find it on the channel page right there. Alright, so we have the tire off of the Subaru. We got our brake caliper here. We got our caliper mounting bracket right here, tucked inside of the brake pads. Got a 14mm wrench on the 14mm bolts here and here. So we could break them loose, break one loose. Let's go the right way. Lefty loosey. Like that. I do like to collapse the pistons if I can with a screwdriver. My sockets, guns. I got a ratchet around here somewhere. But I might just use these tools right here. 14 and combination wrench here. So stick your screwdriver in here. Try and get between the rotor and just go this way. Just like this a little bit. Got dual pistons, so we might try and do both sides here. And then we can get in here between the rotor and the inner pad. Do a little more. I like to try and collapse the piston as much as I can. Because then also you can check your slides. You see how well they move. And that one's moving fine too. So it's a good sign. If your caliper slides are not moving, that's a problem, and you need to get them cleaned up or consider replacing the caliper, depending on the year of your vehicle. If it's 25 and this vehicle is now 20-some years old, you might want to replace them. So you can take this out like I was doing. You can actually just fold this up out of the way. Get to our pads that way. At this point you can honestly just throw some brake pads in there if money's very tight. But we're going to replace the pads and the rotor, because that's how we do it here for brake jobs. And then we have a 17mm bolt in the back. So we will break those loose as well and take off the caliper assembly bracket. And we can just do this. Slide this off. Bloop. Like that. And lay it off to the side. Pads just kind of slide out of these slots here. Take this bracket off so we can get this rotor off. You can see it's loose. It'll just slide off. If it's stuck on there, you could of course tap on the backside with a hammer. Also 8 by 1.25 metric bolts can go in these two holes, and you can screw them in and it'll force the rotor off. So we're just going to go ahead and use our 17mm wrench ratchet and socket and take this bracket off, and we'll be back. So we got our caliper for the front brakes, actually replacing it, but there's a caliper mounting bracket. We got some new pieces. Either you're going to clean yours or replace them. Just going to snap these in place. Just fit down in the channels right there. Then we can You need to throw the brake pad on now if you want, or mount it on the car and slide it on. That's basically it. Your pads will be new, of course. We're doing something else on this vehicle. Changing all parts with rubber in it because they put the wrong fluid in the brake fluid. They put power steering fluid in. Not good, so replacing. But you put your new pads in here if you want, and then mount it on the vehicle. So here's where you have your new rotor or machined rotor back on, most likely. And just remount your caliper bracket here. It's a little tricky with the rotor floating around. You could actually put a lug nut back here and hold the rotor in the right place so it keeps the caliper straighter. It makes it easier to put the bolts in. But we'll just tighten up those bolts and drop the caliper on next. Drop the caliper into place. There's kind of a flat edge on the caliper, and there's a flat edge as you can see on this, so try and get them to line up when you're mounting your caliper. And then we'll put our bolt in, or bolts. If you took both out, that's alright. You just slide it on. You lubricate your slides if needed, if you have some lubricant. Caliper brake lube. Just a dab will do ya. And we'll bolt that up. And I'll give you torque specs, and that would be putting your brake pads on your Subaru Outback and other models. And we'll go to the brake master cylinder and check fluid level and adjust as necessary. Unbleeding your brakes. Here's bleeding your brakes or replacing your brake pads and claps and pistons. Here's your brake master cylinder right here. It's got a maximum, you can see probably. And a minimum, so good instructions on the cap. So you can just take the cap off and add .3 brake fluid, or if you have a clean rag or something, if it's a little over full, you can take a little bit out with a rag or maybe some kind of suction device. So keep an eye on that. You may even want to, if it's full, before you do your brake job, take some out, so when you collapse the pistons, it won't overflow. You can also just open up the bleeder screws. You've probably seen those on the caliper, front or back. Here's a bleeder screw right there, 10mm. So if it has one of these rubber protectors for dirt, but just break it loose and you can collapse the piston, fluid will come out of here. And you can close it up tight. And when your brakes are done, like these, then you want to have an assistant probably step on the brakes a few times and hold the brake pedal down You can open this up a little bit, have some fluid come out, make sure there's not bubbles and air coming out, and just make sure it's fluid, so you might have to do it once or twice. Just have them hold the brake pedal down, open this up, close it after a couple seconds, have them pump the brakes again. You open it when they hold it down, and you close it, then they can release it. And that should take care of your bleeding procedure and your brakes on your Subaru.